The 1930s, the Great Depression. Starring Lindsay Jeffries.
Starring Haley Adamson.
And starring Tori Fisher.
October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed. About $30 billion worth of stocks evaporated. This was the most devastating day in history of the American market.
Hi, how may I help you?
I'd like to buy a stock.
$500, please.
The two main causes of the stock market crash were speculation and buying of a margin.
Black Tuesday, also known as the stock market crash. In the 2 years following the crash, over 60,000 billions went under. The average family income dropped from $2,300 in 1929 to $1,600 in 1935. Unemployment rose from 5% in 1929 to 25% in 1935.
People in cities would wait in line for bread to bring to their family, but sometimes they couldn't afford enough.
Man, that bread looks really good.
It is.
Really? All mine's gone.
Are you still hungry?
Thanks.
You're welcome. Some families even got their houses taken.
Who is it? Hello?
Hi, I'm here to repossess your house. You haven't paid your bills in months.
But I don't have any money to pay my
I'm
bills.
sorry, this is just how it works.
But this is my house. You can't just take me out of my house.
I'm
That's
sorry.
What? Why? But all my things. What about all my stuff?
The Bonus Army were World War I veterans that were promised a bonus for serving in the war payable in 1945. The Bonus Army marched from Oregon to Washington, D.C. to try to persuade Congress to pay them their bonus 13 years early. After the Bonus Army did not leave quickly enough, Hoover brought Douglas MacArthur and Dwight D. Eisenhower and their troops to clear the Bonus Army. The cavalry, armed with machine guns and tear gas, chased the unarmed veterans out of Washington. Hoover had finally sealed his fate by the attack on the Bonus Army.
Stop right there! Ah! Hi, I'm here today interviewing Colonel Hart, a World War I veteran.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
So you are a World War I veteran?
Yes, I was in the Army because they told me that if I served, I would get a bonus.
So why did you march from Oregon to Washington, D.C.?
Because they said that I would get paid 13 years earlier.
Oh, okay, that's
So it's the bonus army.
Okay.
President Herbert Hoover was elected president in 1928, only 11 months before the stock market crashed.
It's May 1930 and I'm here to tell you the worst is over. Businesses do not cut your wages. Governments start building some projects. And I'm here to put together the Agriculture Marketing Act to help aid farmers. I'm also going to pass to Congress the Reconstruct Finance Corporation so we can give money back to the banks and insurance companies of $2 billion.
2 years later, in July 1932,
The Emergency Relief Act was to give $300 million to state governments for emergency unemployment relief.
in the 1930s, a drought began in the Great Plains. Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado became known as the Dust Bowl. In 1934, a windstorm picked up millions of tons of dust and blew it into the East Coast cities. These dust storms often destroyed many homes and towns. You couldn't see anything.
Penny auctions were before the banks could foreclose on the farmer's property. They would sell all their properties to neighbors for just pennies. After the bank would take the land, the neighbors would give the possessions back to the foreclosed farmers.
Everything you find out here is 1 penny. Just one. That's it. 1 penny. Just one? 1 penny. Well, I like that one. So you want that one? Yeah. Once, twice, sold to the lady in the orange.
Tenant farmers did not own the land that they farmed on. In reducing the surplus, the U.S. government paid farmers to stop farming on some of their land to reduce the surplus. The farmers usually took the land from the tenant farmers to stop producing crops.
Excuse me, sir.
Howdy.
You gotta stop farming. I'll pay you.
Why?
We gotta reduce overproduction.
Okay, you want my hoe?
Yeah, give me that hoe. Alright, bye.
Who are y'all?
We're the Okies.
What are y'all doing?
Going west to search for jobs.
What are you doing? I have to leave.
Why?
To find new life.
What about the kids?
It's for the best.
I hate you!
I got it!
No!
300,000 hobos walked the streets looking for jobs. Men would abandon their families and try to start a new life. The men would move to these places called shantytowns or Hoovervilles. They were towns that were made of metal scraps, boxes, newspapers, and old cars.
Oh, the life in the Hooverville.
And now it's raining.
Oh, great! What am I gonna do?
Okay.
Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire were dancers that helped people remove themselves from the depressing times. Now let's watch Haley Adamson and Lindsay Jeffries imitate Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
$30 million American households had radios in the 1930s. Families would gather in the living room to listen to the radio. A very popular song was Brother, Can You Spare Me a Dime?
I'm bored. Let's listen to the radio. Okay.
And so I followed the mob. When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right on the job. They used to tell me I was building a dream, with peace and glory ahead. Why should I be standing in line?
Another way people would escape the depressing realities were to go to movies and watch them with their families and friends.
So, for the second time in less than 24 hours, the Japanese find an American military installation that is...
I'd be scared. I'd be running. I'd be dead. Yeah. I'd be hiding. I'd be crying.
The disaster that rained down upon.
Many families would get away and go to the movies. A popular movie at this time that came out was King Kong.
Talkies, or movies with sounds. An average 1930s week, 60 to 90 million people attended a movie. A movie could be attended for less than a dime.
Another way to escape from the depressing times would be listening to the comic books on the radio by Chester Gould. He wrote a comic strip called Dick Tracy. It was about a detective in the city solving mysteries.
An unemployed salesman of the name Charles Darrow developed the game of Monopoly. This game was based the properties and street names from the Atlantic City.
Cars gave people the sense that they could physically escape from their problems. America's obsession with the car continued from the 20s through the Great Depression. Cars became a status symbol to show wealth and prestige.
The appliance revolution were refrigerators and washing machines. While the majority of these products were introduced in the 1920s, most Americans didn't own them until the 30s.
Oh, I want this. But can you afford it? But does it matter? Well, I want this too. And this. Oh, this one would be awesome. Don't you think that's just a little bit too much? Yeah, but if I get them, everyone will think I'm like one of the richest people. So I'm gonna get them.
The American Gothic, painted by Grant Woods, portrayed the gloom on many farmers in America.
This well-known picture of a woman living through the Great Depression of the 30s tells a story that was captured by her face alone. Looking at it, one cannot overcome the feeling of despair that is etched into her features. an overwhelming sense of misery that described her life in the time that had the nation in the grip of fear and hopelessness.
If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go. I could take you places you ain't never been before. Baby, take a chance so you'll never ever know. I got money in my hands that I really like to blow. Swipe, swipe, swipe on you. Chilling by the fire while we eating fondue. I don't know about me, but I know about you. So say